Our original mission for this project was really to transform this center, to turn it into something that is completely different from what the customer was used to. And then as we ended up doing more and more research, we looked to doing something that was much more upscale and chic, because this type of clientele in this area is a type of clientele that really appreciates sort of something that's much more high-end fashion, and that was really the direction that we were looking at, something that was much more contemporary, modern, and had the chic factor involved. Our vision for Champlain Mall was inspired by the Chanel boutique stores. When we were doing research for this center, we wanted to find something that would inspire us, that would create a very simple backdrop to the new retailers that the owner was looking to get to redevelop the center. So when we saw the Chanel boutique, we felt that the idea of doing this black and white backdrop would be something that would evoke that high-end level of more chic type of clean contemporary design. So that was really the initial inspiration, and we carried that right through to the end of the project. For the floor, which is one of the biggest impact materials that we can select, we selected a white porcelain tile as the base of the material. And what was unique about this center is that we decided to go with a glossy finish to create a little more of a sense of glamour in the center. The other element that we did that really transformed the space was we introduced 7 new skylights, because there were many runs of malls that had no natural lighting whatsoever. So part of the major investment was being able to introduce new skylights and create more natural daylight throughout the entire center. Part and parcel of revitalizing a center is not only revitalizing the environment itself, the physical environment, but it's also about doing a new tenant merchandising mix to create more interest and rejuvenate the center and the types of tenants that are coming in. And we really felt strongly that Champlain Mall was a really great spot to bring in new retailers that were looking to come in, but were also waiting for the renovation to happen. Now retailers have large glass openings and very bright, beautiful storefronts that you could see right into their space. So we converted the center's criteria in order to be able to allow them to go full height right up to the ceiling. When redesigning this food court, one of the objectives was to increase the seating capacity dramatically because it was undersized for the size of the center. So what was done was we introduced a new, more Cartesian layout that maximized the amount of seating in this space that you see behind me. And in addition to that, we introduced a new room which became a dining room that led out to a new terrace. So I believe all in all we've increased the seating to over about 110 seats, which was quite dramatic considering we're utilizing the same space. It was important for us that when we approached the design of the food court, it felt like it was part of the shopping center. However, we wanted to create something that had a little bit of a wow factor and some signature whimsical detail. So the first thing we did was looked at the architecture and felt that these large columns that existed in the food court could be played up a little. And we decided to do that by introducing a very beautiful marble, which is striped, and we installed it in a horizontal pattern and created this very dramatic colonnade. And I think that was the first step in really framing the space. And the seating layout and everything was built around this linear colonnade that framed the skylight, the central skylight. And we introduced new counters that were feature counters that you can see, which have large floral arrangements, and above them very beautiful light fixtures that sort of are very floating in the air. And in addition to the black and white color scheme, we felt it would be important to add a pop of color. So we selected sort of different tones of yellow to create a layering of this one single color that we decided to introduce. Other whimsical things that we introduced were sort of the python vinyl on the main lounge seats, which is something a little bit out of the ordinary for a food court, but I think it's a signature piece that people like to talk about, and they're very comfortable chairs and people enjoy them, and they're also extremely durable. And the other signature piece was in the main dining area, which was that room that we had introduced. And there we introduced fireplaces that were framed by, again, the Cipollino marble, which is a very glamorous material, and with these sculptural plaster trees that we had developed with a local artist, and that kind of created a really strong sense of drama for that space. And I think that particular space is one of the key areas that most people like to sit in today in this food court.